Hello students, I am Kamlesh Kumar. Welcome to all of you at my YouTube channel Social Science Academy. We are studying the chapter the Union Government, the Legislature. There are three organs of the government: the Legislature, Executive and Judiciary. So at the central level we are talking about the Legislature, and this is the fourth part of the chapter, fourth video of this chapter. So now let us discuss about the Lok Sabha, that is the lower house of the parliament, or it is also called the house of the people. So let us first talk about the composition of the Lok Sabha. The maximum strength of the Lok Sabha shall not exceed 550. Out of this, 530 members are directly elected by the people from different states, whereas remaining 20 are elected from the union territories. So elections are based on secret ballot, and candidates getting the highest numbers of votes in a constituency is declared elected. In case the Anglo-Indian community is not represented adequately in the Lok Sabha, the President of India has the power to nominate two members from this community. So the maximum strength could be this, make it correct, 552. So out of this 552 members, 530 members are directly elected from different states. 20 members are elected from some of the union territories, and 2 members are nominated by the President of India in the Lok Sabha from Anglo-Indian communities. So that is the composition. Some seats are reserved for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. Persons belonging to these categories only can contest the election from these reserved constituency. Means, what is this reserved constituency? Suppose constituency A is reserved for scheduled caste or scheduled tribes, means all the candidates who will contest the election from that particular constituency, all the candidates will be from this particular community. So it is made sure that only the scheduled caste or scheduled tribes will win from that particular constituency. So that is a reserved constituency. But the electorate is joint, which means all the eligible voters in the constituency have the right to vote without any discrimination. The purpose behind such reservation is to assist and uplift the weaker sections of the society and bring them into national mainstream. So reserved constituency does not mean that if the candidates belonging to the scheduled caste or scheduled tribes, then only voters from the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes will vote for that particular candidate. All the community will vote, but the candidate who will contest the election, they will be from scheduled caste or scheduled tribes. So this is the very old fact, so we are not going to discuss about it. Now let us see the reservation of seats for women is also burning topic these days, since half of the population of the country, that is women, have only a negligible representation in the legislatures at both the levels. The demand is gaining momentum that women reservation bill should be passed in the parliament, but it is not still passed, and there is no clear-cut reservation for women, but priority is being given to the women, and in every Lok Sabha, new Lok Sabha, the number of women MPs are growing up. Let us see here Mahatma Gandhi's view. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "As long as women of India do not take part in public life, there can be no salvation for the country." So we will have to give representation of women in every sphere of life. Now let us see what should be the qualifications to become a member of Lok Sabha. In order to become a member of Lok Sabha, the candidate must have following qualification. First, he or she must be a citizen of India. The minimum age should be 25 years of age, and his or her name should must be there in any constituency voter list. Now, next, he or she must possess such other qualification as may be prescribed under law made by the parliament. To time, if it is modified, that qualifications should be there with the candidate. He or she should not be a government servant. If you are in government service, you will have to resign and then you will have to become a member of parliament. Then, if two candidates poll the same number of votes, example 70,000 each, then the winner is declared by lottery system. Tenure. What is the normal tenure of the Lok Sabha? The normal term of Lok Sabha is 5 years. However, the President of India can dissolve it earlier also, but only on the recommendation of Prime Minister. Means, if everything is going smoothly, there is no any exceptional circumstances arise in country, then the Lok Sabha will run for 5 years in normal condition. But if the Prime Minister give recommendation to the President to dissolve the Lok Sabha, then the President will do accordingly. The term of Lok Sabha can be extended for a period of 1 year at a time if such a bill is passed by the Parliament to meet some emergency situation for the orderly and smooth working of the Lok Sabha. Means, we can extend the Lok Sabha more than 5 year normal term for 1 year if the bill for the extension is passed in the Lok Sabha. The Speaker and the Deputy Speaker are elected by the members from amongst themselves. So, whenever a new Parliament or new Lok Sabha is constituted, there will be election for Lok Sabha Speaker and Deputy Speaker, and this Lok Sabha Speaker and Deputy Speaker will be elected from amongst the members of the Parliament of the Lok Sabha. There is a tradition that Speaker is elected from majority party and Deputy Speaker from the opposition party. So, Indian politicians, Indian political parties are following this tradition that the Speaker will be elected from the ruling party and Deputy Speaker from the opposition party, and this Deputy Speaker and Speaker works with neutral ideology. They do not follow the party's ideology. So, powers and functions of a Speaker. First, the Speaker presides over the meeting of the Lok Sabha. In his or her absence, the House is chaired by the Deputy Speaker. Means, the main work of the Lok Sabha Speaker is to preside over the meeting of the Lok Sabha, and the first Speaker of the Lok Sabha was G.V. Mavlankar. The Speaker maintains discipline and decorum of the House. If the situation demands, the Speaker can adjourn the House. Means, this Speaker has to maintain the decorum discipline in the House also, and if it go beyond the limit, then he or she can adjourn the House immediately. Then, next duty of a Speaker is all the petitions and documents addressed to the House are received by the Speaker. Means, whatever petitions, documents addressed to the Lok Sabha, it is received in the name of the Speaker. It is the Lok Sabha Speaker who presides over the joint sitting of both the houses of the Parliament. So, whenever it is needed, the President can summon both the houses simultaneously to meet together, and that meeting will be presided over by the Lok Sabha Speaker. So that's all about the Lok Sabha. In the next video, we will talk about the Rajya Sabha. Thanks. Keep watching. If you are liking my video, please press on like button and subscribe my channel to get the earliest notification of new videos. Thank you.